Hello everyone. We are the undergraduate student doing a project on weather and climate under the guidance of Dr. Puneet Kumar. So first we will import the libraries. We have imported two libraries, pandas and numpy. Import pandas as PD and import numpy as NP. From matplotlib we have import pyplot as PLT. Next we have read the dataset CSV file using pd.read_CSV. It is used to read the CSV file. And then we have plot. Next, in this, we have seen that there are 8,784 rows and 8 columns. And next, we have used the df1.shape. Basically, the shape will tell us about number of rows and number of columns present in our data set. So it has returned me 8,784 rows and 8 columns. And then we have done df1.head. Head is basically, it will return by default 5 rows and 5 and corresponding columns values. But if we write df1.head and bracket 10, it will give 10 records. And similarly, if we write df1.tail, it will print the last by default last 5 records. Next, we have written df1.index. Basically, it will give us the index values from where it is starting. It is starting from 0 and goes till 8,784 with a step size of 1, as we have seen earlier. Next, we have done is df1.columns. Basically, it will print the column names. It has given me data, date, time, temperature in degrees Celsius, dew point, relative humidity, wind speed, visibility, pressure, and so on. Next, we have identified the data types of all using df1.dtypes. It will give us object that date and time data type is object and so on. And next, we have identified the unique values. So from column, weather is a column, df1, and in bracket we have written weather dot unique. It will return the unique values present in the weather column. So it has successfully returned. Next, it will give us not unique values, like how many values are not unique. So in date and time, temperature, dew point temperature, relative humidity, it will all return this. Okay, how many values are not unique in that column. Next is df1.count. df1.count will give how many number of values are present in specific column, like date and time, there are 8,704 values and so on. And in next we have written is df1 weather dot value count. It will tell that in weather column how many times that particular element is present. Like in mainly clear is present 2,106 times, mostly cloudy is present 2,069 times, and so on. It will give basically count that how many times it is present in a data set. Next we have is df1.info. df1.info gives the information about a data set, that this is the data frame with the count and the data type with the column names. It will return all the basic information. We can also use df1.describe. df1.describe will just basically give us mean, standard deviations, and etc. Next, we have analyze the data through various questions. Like first, we have to find the unique wind speed values in the data. So first, we find the not unique values as we have done earlier. In winds, we have written that df1 wind speed column, how many not unique values are present, and it has successfully returned me 34. And to identify the unique values, that how many values are unique, we have written df1 wind speed kilometer per hour dot unique. It has returned me an array with the wind speed as, let's say, 4, 7, 6, 9. These all are unique values. There is no duplicacy. Next, we have to find out that how many times the weather is clear. As we have done earlier, we will use the weather value counts. So we have written that df1.weather.value underscore counts. So it will first gives the count how many times weather count is present at clear. And then out of these, we have to find out how many times the weather was clear. So we have written that df1.weather equal to clear. So it will return me that how many times the weather was clear. And so data set is here. Next is third question we have done is to find out the null values in our data. For null values to find out, we have used the function dot is null dot sum. So basically it will return the sum of how many sum of the null values present in the column. So in our data set there is no null value, so it will return 0 0 0 0 0. Supposedly if there is one null value, so corresponding to that column it will return 1. So similarly, not null values, since there is no null value, so it will return all the not null values, which are 8,784 values. Next, we have find out the mean visibility using the function dot mean, df1 dot visibility underscore kilometer dot mean. Similarly, we have find out the standard deviation using the function dot std. And then we have found out relative humidity variance. Next is we have done this data visualization. Since we have already done the data analysis, now we will visualize the data in corresponding in the form of bar graphs, histograms, etc. So first we will do with the help of bar graphs. So first we have taken only we have, for our simplicity, we have taken only 100 records, and then we have plot it with the help of vlt.bar. In this we have plot the graph between temperature in degrees Celsius versus the weather. So in x-axis, as you see, there is a temperature, and in the y-axis there is a weather. With a width of 0.5 means the gap between these should be 0.5 with the color red. So a graph will look in red. So next we have done that. Next we have taken the 500 record, let's say. So we have plotted the graph between the visibility in kilometers versus weather. Same with the width of 0.5 in the color red. So in, as you see, in the x-axis there is a visibility 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and in the y-axis same weather, fog, cloudy, and so on. So next, since we have plotted the bar graph, now we will see the histogram. For in histogram, we have written that plt.hist. Hist is the function used for histogram with the pressure kilopascal. This is the x-axis, and corresponding to pressure, how many times that the pressure has occurred, it will return this, like 90 at 98 kilo pressure, how many times it has occurred. Basically, it will give us the count of how many times that pressure has occurred. Next is we have plotted the graph between the DFT to the similarly taking the 100 records with, and we have plotted the graph between temperature in degrees Celsius versus visibility in kilometers. In x-axis there is a temperature in degrees Celsius, and the y-axis there is a visibility in kilometers. Similarly, in the next question we have done that in x-axis there is a temperature in degrees Celsius versus pressure in kilopascal, and it will give me this plot. So that was our project. Thank you, everyone.